Good morning, fam. It's your boy Harvey. I wanted to point out the differences between working for yourself and working a job. I used to work a job back in the day, right? But I also used to hustle for myself, right? So it was a thing like part-time, right? I was working on my fortunes, right? See, one thing about when you just working a job, right? You know, for somebody else or whatever. If you're not doing something very spectacular, right? That's helping a whole lot of people, right? You're not gonna make a whole lot of money, right? See, when I say a whole lot of money, right? See, if you're doing something, you working for somebody and you're making millions of dollars a year or whatever, right? You know, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, right? You work for somebody. That's, you know, that's a good job, right? You know, that I figure that's a good job. You got something to work with, right? But if not, right? I think everybody should work for themselves, right? You know, anyway, right? See, one thing about when you work for yourself, right? You're gonna build, your own personal, brand or whatever, right? And you're gonna feel good about things at the end of the day, right? And everybody needs to work for themselves, right? Especially when you're working for somebody else and you're dealing with inflation and all these things, right? You know, inflation 3% each year or whatever, right? Or you retirement money or whatever is not enough, right? So everybody should always, work for themselves, right? You know, that's a part, that's a part of building wealth, right? Working for yourself, right? Everybody should have a little bit of that up in them, right? One thing about, working for yourself, you can start, you can start real simple, right? You can start real simple, right? You know, just buying something, and selling it for a profit, right? That's real simple, right? You don't have to have a whole lot of money, right? It can be low overhead, right? And working for yourself, right? When you're starting out, right? Very low overhead, especially somebody who out in the streets, networking, and things like that, right? You find yourself a product, right, to sell to your peoples and things, right? It's very low overhead, starting a business working for yourself, right? You don't have to worry about, you're hustling like that, right? You don't have to worry about all these, laws and things running legit business, right? But that's a way to start, right? Not saying that you just have to stay like that, right? But that's how you can start, the race, right? Start out for yourself, right? Doing something for yourself, man. If it ain't nothing but cooking something at home and taking it out in the street and selling it, cookies or whatever, right? But that's how you build wealth, right? Doing something for yourself, right? Do for self, right? That's, one way on a very small, simple level, right? That the person on the lowest level, right, can do something for themselves, right? But that's the mindset. Mindset is everything, man. Hustle, do for self, right? That's the way I see it, right? Everybody should be in that mindset, right? Do something for yourself, right? Get out there in these streets, right? Do something for yourself, right? That's the come up. That's the come up. That's how you start out, doing something for self. Find something to do for yourself. Find a way to hustle for yourself. Work for yourself too. If you got a job, right, you can do that part-time. You work on your fortune part-time, as they say, right? But you gotta do something else for yourself. That's how you deal with inflation and things like that. Because if a job get rid of you, right, what you gonna add in, right? That's why it's always good to have your own business, right? Start for self, right? Even if like I say, even if it's on a small level where you ain't doing nothing but hustling for yourself, right? But mine, that's a start, right? That's where you start at, right? That's to start having something extra coming in on the side for yourself, right? I was just giving up a little something on, job and working for yourself. Because I remember back in the day, somebody told me, yeah, get a real job, right? I don't agree with that, right? That's a real job when you're working for yourself. That's the real job. Do something for yourself. All right, fam, that's it on working on yourself.